I'm just gonna go ahead and say welcome to the welcome to the TCAT 10-minute take. It is I, your host, surprise, back again, Sheree L. Stewart, and with me, as always, is my intrepid co-host Don the Legend Chambers. We are back after an extended hiatus for no real reason, just
besides life,
an adult, and business and family and obligations and illness and injury and climate change. I don't know why. Well, politics.
Yes.
Just
and like
a
famous movie once said, life finds a way. So it finds a way to get in the way.
It finds a way to get in the way.
Yes.
Every time. 60% of the time it gets in the way every time. But we're back to here for you to talk about a movie that we should have talked about a couple of weeks ago, but I'm sure you probably have seen it if the numbers are anything to be.
Or probably didn't.
Or maybe not. Now the numbers are pretty high though, so I'm sure a lot of y'all did. But if you didn't, we're here to tell you if you should.
Or if you wasted your money.
So that movie is, I don't even know what it's called, man.
It's Jurassic
is it
Park
Jurassic Park or is it Jurassic World?
Jurassic World Dominion. Jurassic Park World Dominion.
Wait,
there it is. Jurassic World Dominion.
There's no park in there.
Okay, Jurassic World Dominion.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, there it is.
Jurassic World
Dominion.
This is a branding issue. This isn't our
yeah. Jesus.
But as always, Mr. Chambers will go first.
Go. Okay, Jurassic World Dominion. All right. Directed by Colin Trevorrow? Trevorrow?
I don't know.
Trevorrow?
Isn't there an L in there? What's happening? Are we old now? Did that happen today? Like it flipped a switch?
I definitely am. Maybe not for you just yet.
Jeez Louise.
I know. Starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard. We've got Laura Dern. We've got Sam Neill. We've got Jeff Goldblum. We have newcomer DeWanda Wise. Basically, the gang's all here. And let me just say, it doesn't matter. Let me just say nothing in this movie. Let me say, after the first Jurassic Park, none of the other movies matter. They just don't. Because I've said it once, I'm going to say it again. Spielberg, as explicitly as he could, laid in a platter what the sequel could possibly be about when that Barbasol can holding the other DNA of God knows whatever other dinosaurs got covered over during that rainstorm, and you knew it was in it, and it got covered over like it was. Oh, see what's hidden there, which means it's got to be found at some point, and then something else would have happened. But needless to say, they took the last three movies and went in a whole other bizarre, different direction, almost trying to rehash the first movie, basically, to obviously very mixed at best results. This, I think, is probably the worst of them all, mainly in terms of they brought the original people back only to basically use them as window dressing just to have them there. Nothing exciting in this movie really happens. Nothing of any real consequence in this movie actually happens. I have no idea what even the point of it was, because it ends again with these dinosaurs just living the dream, now in some other sort of I don't know if it's considered some type of sanctuary, but they're just there again. Like, that's how we started with them there, and we ended with them there. Not even sure why I had to waste a good hour and a half to 2 hours of my time watching this. Well, supposedly for the action, which is tired. It's rehashed, the same type of dinosaur action or scares. I mean, it's God. This movie, just watching it, I felt like I have seen all of this over and over and over. It was boring. Even BD Wong, who they made this big bad in a couple other movies, and now he's this sympathetic character here. I'm like, what? And then they had these giant I'm like, giant grasshoppers. What? Sorry, locusts. I was like, what? And I mean, I'm like, why? Why?
Where would you put it on our scale?
I would put it. It's not even a bother. It's not even a bother when this eventually comes out on streaming, because it doesn't. You don't gain anything from it. Nothing is gained. Nothing. I mean, even with the original cat.
If it's on the TV at the gym, or like you're doing laundry or something, like, and it's on like basic cable, not even basic cable.
But I guarantee, even if it's on basic cable and you turn it on, 15 minutes in, you're going to be like, why am I watching this? And you'll find something else. I mean, even the original cast, but there's nothing really for them to do. There's no type of spirit or nothing to get them back to like that magic of the first one. It is really hard to capture it because you've sort of taken them all in directions that, unless you decided to just start brand new, like none of that happened. I mean,
yeah, see, that's a problem that I have is, that I think that all of us are going to have is the Jurassic Park first movie. The Jurassic Park is as close to perfect a movie as you can get.
Man.
It was just hit the zeitgeist at the right time. It's the mixture of technology and digital effects and animatronics and practical effects is perfection. The direction is really good. The casting is perfect. Like, it's based on, Michael Crichton's book, which is a really good book. And, it was like a crystallization perfection of the concept that he came up with Westworld, the TV, the other movie that he made back in the day. So it was like, which was imperfect, same idea. And now Jurassic Park was like the final draft of that idea. And it was as close to a perfect movie as you can get.
Yeah.
And to follow that up is asking a lot. It's a big ask. The second movie was probably the worst, but the most fleshed out, actualized story of the new movie, of the sequels, because it was also based on a book. It was the Lost World book, and it did move the mythology forward in that, Jurassic Park happened and it was all this self-contained island, but then the second one was like, oh, you know what, Hammond lied. Of course he did. They couldn't do all that on an island. Everything that was impossible, and it was just all a front, and here's the real island of Dr. Moreau here next door. So, but then the third movie was actually a superior movie, but had less of a story. And it was just sort of like,
oh, that's the one where Sam Neill ends up going back to an island.
Goes back to help rescue that Tay Leone's kid. And that one was like a better movie but it possibly was just acting and directing, the actors and the director, maybe. I don't know. Then you had the newer movies, which didn't really take us to new places story wise or thematically, but just technologically. Like, they wanted to have bigger and better and badder dinosaurs. And you're right, they did set up BD Wong to be like this overall big bad. And the way that he had just this closure of coming in and saving the day, I feel like the only way his arc would have satisfied me personally would be if he had sacrificed his life to save them. There is no way he should have came out of this scenario alive. Because all of the shit that he did.
Right. Because here's the thing, just as a tangent, and was incredibly frustrating. It's like they introduced that Dodgson character.
Dodson? Yeah.
Who was in the first one, who was trying to get that. And I'm like, wait a second. You're going to bring him back in this movie, but he
got that Barbasol can somehow.
But you couldn't have done a second movie where he would have been the obvious, like, new bad, because he was trying to get, like, I was like, really? Now is when he comes back. Really?
Well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, the fact that they felt the need to do that, just, I don't know. It was okay. Just everything else Jurassic Park aside, this
Right.
movie on its own, it was tonally very strange. Half of the movie, okay, we were promised dinosaurs running around in the streets of like American cities. What we got was them in the wilderness, basically Jurassic Park style, and in random countries that were also sparsely inhabited,
Right.
Jurassic Park style. Like I don't even know if they were real places. They were like pirate village, in
Yeah.
from Pirates of the Caribbean, but sparsely populated with lots of bad guys who could be eaten without consequence.
Yes.
And so there weren't any real stakes. And then you're running around Mission Impossible style on these weird side quests that don't really have much to do with, and they have so many characters who didn't have enough to do, like to shoehorn everybody in. They had to felt like they manufactured these moments to give everybody like a little bit of a hero moment.
Yes.
Not so much in service of the story, but more in service of the fans.
Yeah.
Or just the making it be a spectacle. I don't think it was worth a full-on movie ticket. I will say on its own, I wasn't bored like you were. It wasn't boring to me, except for the parts that were boring.
Except for the boring parts.
Except for the boring parts, but there weren't that many boring parts. There was just like some. And those are the times you could go to the bathroom. So if you're home and you're like doing laundry,
I guess so.
and it's on, I felt like it was more entertaining than some of the other ones. And I like seeing the gangs all back together and doing stuff and, and having a good time. And for some reason, Dr. Sattler and Dr. Grant look more age appropriate this go round. I do feel like, it's worth streaming. When it's out on streaming and you got some time to kill and you're doing errands and paying your bills or, going through your mail or whatever the hell you do at your house, your apartment, your flat, your wherever you live, and you do your things, your life things, and it's just on as white noise. It's not a bad movie to have on.
I would wholeheartedly
You got to
disagree.
multitask with this movie though, because there are times where you could just probably get up and go to the bathroom and be fine.
And this thing with this girl, this clone. I'm like,
I don't know why they decided to revisit that, other than as a way to tie everybody together, old and new, because that was a whole storyline that was super weird to begin with from that Jurassic World movie, where this whole time it was all John Hammond. It was all him. He never had a partner. He never did anything with anything like that. And then you had the guy who bought InGen from him and his whole deal. And so then to introduce this mysterious silent business partner who was also in on the cloning and genetic engineering,
which is so easy to write in, like, oh, we'll just make up a silent business partner. We'll just make up
a silent business partner who is in fact the real mastermind behind it, instead of John Hammond, where I felt like that was kind of an unnecessary addition that we didn't really need. And I don't know, man. It was like simultaneously more complicated than it needed to be.
Yes.
And less story than we needed to have. Like, yeah. I can't even understand how that's possible. But I mean, I've seen worse.
There is always worse. That is true. But what's not worse is subscribing. Is hitting that subscribe and then hitting that bell to be notified every time we get around to doing one of these bad boys. Make sure you do that. Don't forget our website. You can always bookmark that, tcadnetwork.com, which will also have links to all of our YouTube videos, as well as our audio versions on podcast, which is on iTunes podcast. It's also on Stitcher and also on, is it Anchor?
It's everywhere. No,
yeah.
It's Hipcast.
It's on Hipcast. It's on all
the podcast platforms.
All of them. And you can find all those links on our website at tcadnetwork.com. I'm sorry. This was actually a no-go for me.
All right. It's garbage for John.
Trey's much more forgiving and willing to give them a chance. I truly hope to not see any more dinosaurs. I'm done. It just... Because, I mean, they don't seem to know how to do it, so don't care. It's over. Please let that franchise just rest forever.
I mean, you could always just go back and watch the first one.
Thank you. And live those memories of how awesome it was. It's still good. I just
saw that the other day.
It's still good. It's still good. But, yeah. Do that. Subscribe, hit the bell, rewatch the first Jurassic Park. It's the only one you need to see, only one you need to know, only one you need to see. The rest are just fluff that should not exist. Personally, I'm just saying. All right. So, till next time, we're out of here.
See ya.
That was magic.
Oh.